Aha. Okay, it's the first of the year, so we are going to try our goals for the year, along with every other YouTuber. But I've been kind of inspired by watching other YouTubers set their goals for the year. Nobody's calling them resolutions anymore. I've noticed that. Everybody's getting away from the resolutions that last for 2 days and then disappear. I don't know why it's different if you call it a goal, but okay. So my goals for the year, and I am so looking forward to 2019. It has got to be a better year than 2018. 2018 was just really in the crapper for me. So, and I found a lot of people has said that 2018 was just really a bad year. So I don't know if it was something like in the stars, I don't know. I don't get into the whole astrology thing, but something was going on somewhere. So, start off with my health, since that's where the majority of my emphasis has been for the last year and a half. The emphasis has been on the cancer. So now that that's sort of, evened out, the cancer's still there, but I don't have to worry about it as much as I did then. Now it's just sort of whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I don't have to go for daily treatments and everything. So for health, I bought a pair of Skechers to walk in. All my other sneakers have worn out. They're rubbing my feet the wrong way, and so I can't stand wearing them. There's no way I can walk around the block in them. So I bought an inexpensive pair of Skechers at Costco, and they seem very comfortable. So the plan is to start walking again. Tucker can't walk. The arthritis in his back legs, there's no way he can walk. He can't even walk out to go shishi. So, but that's the hardest part. It was very easy to get motivated when I could clip a leash on him and we could go out the door and he'd just lead me around and around. Without him, it's been hard to get motivated. So that's where I need to focus on right now, I guess, is getting the motivation to get walking. Start simple, just go around the block and then work my way out from there. Another thing I want to accomplish is paying off my credit cards. That's a major one for me. I really want to get that one taken care of. And so I have to be very stringent and set my goals on that. And I want to move before the end of the year. I want to get out of the dark studio apartment. I want to have a kitchen. I want to have a washer and dryer in my unit so that I don't have to go outside. I don't have to share it with other people. There's something about sharing dryer lint with other people that really skeeves me out, and I'm bad at it. But at this point, it's like I only really have to share it with a couple of other people, and I know who they are, so I'm like, okay, it's not like I have to go to a laundromat and share with people I don't know. And I had a chance to apply for an apartment, but the apartment itself would have cost more than the apartment I'm in, and I would have also had to pay electricity, and I would have had to pay to do laundry. So I would have been paying way more than I am now, not just a little bit more. And so this, it just didn't work out. And if I could have gotten a washer and dryer in my unit, I would have done it. But it was kind of the tipping point that I would have to go use the laundromat, and no. It's bad enough I have to do laundry once a week on a specific day, and yeah. So that's a goal for me, is to get to a point where I can have a little bit bigger apartment, have a bedroom, have a kitchen, and have a washer and dryer, and hopefully like a little deck like I have now where I can have Tucker out. I mean, I know it's too much to hope for a house with a little yard, but if I can have an apartment with a little deck for Tucker, that would be nice. For YouTube, I want to get more regular with my posts, especially with this second channel. You know, I have to kind of, because it's so new, I have to kind of like even it out. I have to figure out what I'm doing. Yeah. So I guess figuring out my second channel is a big one. And then I have to go back to my first channel too, and I have to do a little bit more with that and keep that regular. And that's hard to do when you're working full time. And you know, it's real easy for the YouTubers who this is their full-time job, but when you're working full-time and you're so exhausted by the end of the day, and then you have to go home and sit in front of a computer and edit video and shoot video and do all this crap. And my computer is so old, it takes, like if I shoot a 1 hour video, it takes 2 hours to load it from my phone to the computer. Then I have to edit it. Wait, it takes 2 hours to load it from the phone to the computer. Then I have to load it from the computer into the editing program, and that takes at least another hour or two. And then I have to edit it, and then I have to save it. That takes another hour or two. And then I have to download it into YouTube, which takes another hour or two. And because my computer is so old, I cannot do anything else on my computer while I'm doing any of this. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to have a Mac that can handle all of this, but I know that is like way out of my mainstream. And there are other things, like if I were going to focus on something, if I were going to buy something for my YouTube channel, it would be a camera, not a new computer. So that's, you know, if I were going to do that, then I would rather get a camera that could do superior video rather than something that would just save me a little bit of time. Anyway, so where was I with that anyway? Oh, so doing my YouTube, you know, I need to even out, I need to figure out what I'm doing and even out the videos and kind of figure out where I'm going and what I'm doing and just smooth it out a little bit. And then, you know, at some point after I move, I would also like to get my stuff shipped from Oregon to here, because it's been sitting in a storage unit for 8 years now. And I had only planned on staying over here for 1 year when I moved. So I left a lot of stuff in storage that doesn't need to be there. And I've been after my daughter to clean it out for 7 years. Yeah, it hasn't gone anywhere. And so I actually thought about trying to get the money and fly over there, clean it out, you know, and then ship it back. But that would be like $7,000–8,000 to do all that, because the cost of flying over there is so expensive, and then staying, and then the cost of shipping everything back. And so, yeah, that's not going to happen. But if I can get her to get in and clean it out, if I can get the stuff shipped over here, because I really don't want that much shipped over here. I want to get rid of most of it. And so if I have another apartment, you know, a bigger apartment, I would not need another storage unit. I could just store it in the apartment. But that may not happen this year. That might be an out there, hold off till next year kind of thing. But when I think about how much I'm paying every month for that storage unit, I probably could have paid off all my credit cards by now. But those are my goals for the year. And it seems like they're all kind of monetary and selfish, except for the health issue. But at the same time, I think I would be in a better headspace if I could get those taken care of. If I could get the credit cards paid off, that's a lot of stress that's off of me. If I can get moved into another place, then again, that's going to be some stress, because I'll be like in a bright, new, cheery place, hopefully. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for that. It's not so much, I need to be in something better. It's just, I need to change something. I'm in this dark hole of an apartment. I need to get out of that. I need to have light. I need to have a kitchen. I need to have a bedroom where I can shut the door. There are just certain things that I need to improve my situation kind of mentally, if that makes any sense. So I thought I would also continue the About Me questions. And so the next ones are, let's see, I did that one. What are your best characteristics? I don't know if they're talking about physically or overall. Physically, I don't know that I have any anymore. At one time, they probably would have been my boobs. Then everything sags, and sense of humor, maybe. I don't know. That might change on any given day at any given time. Another time it might be, I don't know. Another time it might be perseverance, or my ability to fire through on things where other people give up. I'm going with sense of humor, because you gotta laugh at stuff or you just break down and cry. What are your favorite things about yourself? Sense of humor. Which of your parents are you closest to? Well, they're both gone, so that's kind of hard. When I was a little girl, like little girl, it was probably my father. After he started drinking, and I got older, it was my mother. When I was young, when I was little, my father was really fun. He liked to go on roller coasters and do stuff, We have old home movies of him going off high dives, and then after he started drinking, he just became an old fogey and didn't like to do anything. Which of your parents are you most like? I know I look like my mother, and I don't know if anybody wants to look like their mother. I don't know. Which of your parents are you more like? I don't know. I've probably got a lot of both of them. Maybe not of anything in them. I don't know. I never really thought about that one. I mean, I know because I've seen pictures of me after I cut my hair and lost weight, and I thought, oh God, I look like my mother. But I never really thought about characteristics and, just mannerisms. And actually, kind of, sometimes I see mannerisms from my mother, so I'm probably more like my mother. Are your grandparents still married? No, they're all gone. This is probably geared more for like teenagers or something. Let's see. Okay, my mother's parents, my grandmother died when I was about 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, brain cancer. I always thought I would get brain cancer if I got any cancer at all, because I also had a cousin on my father's side that had brain cancer. Then my grandfather died when I was a teenager, I think. It was late, like an older teenager, maybe close to 20. Then on my father's side, my grandfather died when my father was still young, and so I never knew him. And then my grandmother died, she was 102. So she didn't die until God, my daughter met her. So, my daughter was like my daughter was like 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old when she died. Yeah, it's that old Kentucky stock. Yeah. What relative was important to you growing up and why? It was just me and my parents. We were like the black sheep of the family or something. My mother's family lived in Texas. They had migrated down from, well, not all of them, but like her sister, a brother and sister, and her father had moved down to Texas, and then she had a couple of other brothers that moved like to Iowa and I forget where. I think maybe one was still in Nebraska. She had been born and raised in Nebraska, and then they moved out from there, but they all went the other way. And then my father's family was born and raised in Kentucky, and they all stayed there, except my father went in the Navy and then ended up settling in California. One other brother settled in Florida, but he went home to Kentucky, like a few times a year, to see his mother all the time. So I didn't really grow up with relatives. I was always so envious of people that had their families, and Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, birthdays, it's like aunts, uncles, cousins, everything. And I was an only child as well. And so there was like nobody. And so I was always so jealous of all my friends and all the neighbors that had all these families come together all the time. And I had no clue what it could even be like. And I still don't have a clue what it could be like to grow up with family this close. It's one of those obscure ideas that it's out there, it's done, but you just can't fathom what it would really be like. A kind of like swimming in the ocean and seeing a shark coming at you. It happens, it can be done, but you don't know what it would really be like. It's just one of those things that's so hard to fathom. And so I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that one. It might. I'm kind of tending towards Mima, my father's mother. Everybody called her Mima, that old Kentucky stock. She was a quilter, and I actually do have some of her quilts in storage in Oregon. Those are some of the things that would be coming over. And I have what I think is one of the last quilts she made. I don't know, it's like when she died, because it was all back in Kentucky. I'm out in California. didn't get a thing, you know. So, you know, it's like, you know, all the family out there got, you know, like when she went into the nursing home, they all got the furniture and the quilts and the, what, you know, jewelry and whatever she had. I don't know what she had, but they all got things that meant something to her. But because we were out in California, we got nothing. And so that's kind of hard, you know. It's like, and I think kind of because of that, it's like everything that was my mother's I'm holding on to. It's like everything means something to me, because we didn't have family that handed things down. So it's like I'm holding on to everything. I don't know. That's kind of like going all over the place, isn't it? What would your parents have named you if you were the opposite gender? Well, as I said before, my parents found my name in a baby book. So I don't think they had any plans. I have a half-brother that already had my father's name. So there's already a Joe Jr. out there. So it wouldn't have been Joe Jr. Unless he wanted to do what that boxer did and was named all his sons Joe. But no, I don't have a clue what they would have named me if I had been a boy. I don't know if they know what they would have named me if I had been a boy. And I never asked that one. What do you call your grandparents? Well, you know, my grandfather on my mother's side was just Grandpa. And then, as I said, my grandmother on my father's side was me, Mom. What is your best physical feature? Well, it used to be my boobs. When I was big, my boobs were big. And it's not that they were like perky or anything, but they were big. So there was a lot of cleavage, and I could really rock a bra. And but when I lost the weight, that was one of the butt shrank first. I had a good butt too. Not quite J-Lo, but it was a nice round kind of big butt. And the butt was the first thing to go, and then the boobs went. And this is just not hanging right today. I don't know that I have a best feature. It's definitely not my hair today. Once my hair grows to a point where I like it, then it might be my hair. But I don't know that I have a feature. Okay, then the next ones we'll save, since they all seem to kind of go together, I think. Or at least the next question starts to veer off. So that's it. A little bit more about me. I don't know that it's anything exciting. I don't know that anything about my life is exciting. I don't know who would want to know this stuff about me, but it kills a few minutes in the video, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to get this posted on the 1st of January. Yeah, look at that, I promise, the 1st of January. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.